going on, Underworld crew? Hope you're having an amazing day. And today is TWAB's day. So we're going to do another TWAB day today. And yeah, let's get into it. We're going to talk about the TWAB. And they also released some notes, like a little Wednesday mini TWAB. That's probably, this one's probably so light. But I'm going to get into that later. First thing we're going to talk about and we're going to cover today is opening the vault from orbit. Vaults from orbit? Don't mind if we do. Show of hands, if you've been that guardian who has been jammed to some tunes while your friends organize the fire team only to, at the very last minute, just as the raid is about to start, remember you left something in your vault, or you need to drop, and you need to drop by the tower. We get it, we do too. If that's your hand, we see waving around friendly. Don't worry, we've got some good news. Starting in season 23, you'll be able to access your vault from orbit. We are hoping that this update will make it easier for all guardians to update their builds ahead of time and start the activity. We're also exploring additional areas to give more freedom to access their vault in-game for potential future releases. We'll keep you posted in the meantime. Feel free to drop us any feedback about this and any other thing related to Destiny 2 by tagging us over on Twitter/X at Destiny2Team or Reddit under the same name. All right, so for console players, I'm gonna be a little bit more specific. Console players without access to a laptop or a tablet or Destiny item manager or not Destiny item, Destiny app. This is a big thing for you. But for PC players who have more than one monitor, or not even just one monitor, just have access to be able to open a tab while playing the game, this means nothing because we've all been using them. But quality of life is quality of life. These Ghost mod changes are full of spirit. We've been talking a lot about economy changes over the past several months, and while two more tweaks are on the way, we wanted to have a quick chat about Ghost mods and where they're at. We've got our economy team here to offer up some insight into even more changes ahead for Ghost mods coming in season 23. Take it away, our Ghostess and the Mostess. Oh, our Ghostess with the Mostess. Here's a look at the new energy cost for mods below. Combo detector, 1 to 5. Golly, wombo detector, 6. Mobility armor. So these are like all the armor mods to give you like specific armor drops. So mobility is 3, resilience is 2, recovery is 4, strength is 3, intellect is 4, discipline is 3. Okay, so this is so you can get more cores for 4. Lord Prism, that's 6 now. Modularity is 4. Prosperity is still 3. Good job. So if you want more upgrade modules, it's gonna be 4 now. I want to know why. I would like to know why. And the second most important part, yeah, this is all cool and all, but let's get this straight. We can all keep it $100. The only thing, well, at least for me specifically, I have a XP mod, the biggest XP mod possible. Then I have prosperity on the game mode that I'm playing, and then a glimmer mod, like the smallest glimmer mod possible. That's all I have. So, but I'm not going to be changing that anytime soon. A friendly check-in with Raul. When we've brought up price changings in the past, we've seen some mention that it can be frustrating that Raul doesn't just make changes happen when we're talking to him, particularly when there's a big stack of enhancement prisms, but the amount of enhancement cores is a little lower than desirable. We've talked to the Cryptarch and he's assured us that the material fission was indeed possible, but the laws of thermodynamics necessitate a loss of matter or something like that. He was saying a lot of science where, long story short, starting in season 23, he can now break down 1 enhancement prism into 5 enhancement cores for 2500 glimmer 3 times a week. Here's a summary of all the updates. Okay, so so basically you can trade in 1 enhancement prism for 10 enhancement cores for 2500 3 times a week. Then you can trade in 1 ascended shard for 10 enhancement prisms for 10,000 glimmer 3 times a week. And then you can trade in 1 ascended alloy for 10 enhancement prisms for 10,000 glimmer for 3 times a week. And then 5 enhancement cores for 1 enhancement prism for 2500 glimmer 3 times a week. Okay. As the economy crew will be keeping an eye on your inventories and glimmer wallets to decide if any of these numbers need additional changes. We also have more to share on the wider Destiny 2 economy in the near future. Okay, so these are some good changes. For all y'all who freaking Raul for upgrade materials, this is good for you. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Now, I did hear that they touched on boosting. Yep, here it is right here. Let's read this. The connection between carrying services and cheating. Bungie's product security team continues to protect players from cheating and enable players to experience the game as its talented designers intended. Over the past year, we've observed an increase in accounts being stolen and sold with account owners without the account owner's permission by boosters, paid carrier services, and cheat developers. Such services appear to harvest and sell any personal or financial information they come across. There's an increasingly clear relationship between boosting services and cheating. Primarily, boosting and paid carrier services frequently resort to cheats to churn through as many customers as fast as possible. After those customers are churned through, the carrier service will then sell their account credentials for the bad act to other bad actors. Cheat developers in turn will use packs of stolen accounts to evade bans and enable further cheat development. Okay. Ultimately, services that offer to skirt the integrity of the game are not likely to be trustworthy with the player's account and personal information. In addition to untrustworthiness in other these services, they are also against the terms of service and end up in the basis of permanent ban of the account. We again remind you to protect your account and do not use account recovery in cheat services. Saying that your finger was not on the keyboard when cheating occurred will not help you win the appeal. The loss of your Bungie account due to bad behavior by an untrustworthy service is only a small way that you will be you can be burned. For more information regardless of ban policies, please visit Destiny account restrictions and banning policies. Okay. This is a short little TWAB. Ooh, look at these skins. The Superior Spider-Man skin, right in time for Spider-Man W. Anyway, let's get to this next one. All right, first things first. I'll make this short and sweet. We're gonna go through what matters. Auto rifles are getting a 10% damage buff to red bars. Snipers are getting a 15% damage buff. Pulse rifles are getting a 12.5% damage buff to yellow and orange bars. Vex Mythic class is getting a big buff as well as Revision 0. So we're gonna scroll through and go find that real quick. Vex Mythic class. Although Vex Mythic class received both a range buff and PvE damage buff in Season of the Witch, we believe it has an additional room to grow in PvP to find a unique role. Okay. We have increased the damage against minor and boss combatants, and we're going to be experimenting with the different styles of anti-champion gameplay. Instead of having an intrinsic anti-champion perk, we are massively increasing the damage of the linear fusion rifle mode deal to all champions. This places in a unique space of being more or less a Swiss Army knife and less of a specialist. We envision it as a weapon that you can take into an activity regardless of which champion type is present, and still having it to be an effective tool, especially when utilized in concert with other anti-champion abilities. Okay, so increased damage versus minor red bar combatants by 10%, bosses by 25%, champions by 200% when in linear fusion rifle mode. This thing is going to chunk when Unstoppable Fusion comes back around, because it's probably not going to be around next season, but if it is, I'm gonna be using Vex. All right, Revision 0. As the second part of our anti-champion experience, we're also increasing the Revision 0's damage versus champions, although by a much lower amount, since the weapon can also retain an intrinsic anti-barrier. They increase the damage versus champions by 100%. So I'm assuming this is only in the sniper mode, just like Vex is only in linear fusion mode. If not, hey man, a buff is a buff. I don't care. Bungie does a little bit of spaghetti code, so we might actually get that buff across the board. Okay, Thorn. PvP players rejoice. I hope you all have been preparing, because Thorn is about to be probably up there with the three best hand cannons in the game. We got Ace, Hawk, and Thorn. We bite back in D1. Last word kind of mid right now, because in D1 it was if you don't have last word or Thorn, I'm not playing with you. No trials with me. I didn't get to play trials anyway, but let's get into Thorn. In Season 23, Thorn will be getting both a catalyst to bring its strength up in PvP and a change to the base behavior to make it more fun to use in PvE. Picking up a remnant can now overflow the magazine up to a max of 40 rounds. The catalyst gives plus 20 range, plus 10 stability, and getting a kill or picking up a remnant grants additional range, handling, and mobility. Mwah! This is what we've all been waiting for. Before we get to the exotic glaives, we're going to talk about the exotic glaive, the glaive rework that they did, and then we're going to get into the exotic glaives as well, okay? Let's get into it. Glaives. We wanted to improve how good it feels to use glaives as both melee and projectile weapons. We also wanted to increase the uptime of the shield without pushing it too far into the realm of being overpowered. As such, we've made changes to all three aspects of glaives. Projectiles. Glaive projectiles were generally just slow enough that they felt unreliable to use against fast-moving targets, and Impulse Amplifier was seen as a must-have for perks for glaives usage in PvP. Meanwhile, in PvE, the glaive projectiles felt underpowered compared to the other special ammo options, like fusion rifles and shotguns. So we gave glaives a healthy portion of Impulse Amplifier buff at base and increased their damage in PvE by a substantial amount to make them feel more worthy of the limited ammo. Okay. In PvP, the increased projectile speed has greatly improved their ease of use, so we brought their damage dealt by projectile down just to keep glaives in line. I guess you got some glaive gamers in PvP. Maybe they're a little bit happy. Increase projectile speed by 30%. Increase projectile damage by 25% in PvE only. Decrease projectile damage in PvP. So for aggressive glaives, it's 123. For adaptives, it's 113. And for rapid fire, it's 101. I didn't even know rapid fire glaives existed. Melee. The long delay between firing a projectile and being able to melee made glaives feel clunky and unintuitive to use. So we have reduced that delay to a more manageable amount. The delay exists that people cannot dive on other players, fire, and then melee as a single event, but 3/4 of a second was definitely more conservative that was needed to prevent that behavior. Okay. It should now feel far more intuitive to shoot a projectile and follow up with a melee attack without feeling over frustrating to fight someone using this combination. Reduce the delay from firing before you can melee from 0.75 to 0.2. Guys, if you hear that dog in the background, I am so sorry. This motherfucker is having a fit. Alright, so like I said before, snipers are getting a 15% damage buff. This applies to exotic snipers that also use heavy ammo. Great. Now to exotic glaives, like I said before. Alongside the glaive rework mentioned above, we also have some tuning onto the class exotic glaives introduced in the Witch Queen. The below changes are for all three glaives to make using their exotic functionality both more forgiving and more understandable. Okay. Grants 1 ammo when you activate the perk, so you can use it even when you're out of ammo. No longer passively drain shield energy when your special reload to activate the perk. No longer deactivated by reloading or stowing the weapon. Good. So the Warlock exotic glaive, Edge of Intent. Edge of Intent seemed like it was begging for some solo 3.0 interaction instead of the previous generic healing effect. A larger area of effect, AoE helps it to reach more allies as well. So change the effect of healing from the healing turret projectiles to grant cure and provide restoration. Increase the AoE radius to 8 meters to benefit more nearby allies, and increase the magazine size from 4 to 5. Okay, now the bubble one, Edge of Action for Titan. We wanted to make a baby bubble more effective in endgame content, so it provides more benefits to the weapon just passing through it, even if you don't remain inside. Passing through the bubble now grants bonus reload speed, handling, and small amounts of stacking damage bonus in addition to the overshield. Nice. Reduce the health of the bow from 8,000 to 2,400 to account for the increase of uptime and improved effects. Understandable. Edge of Concurrence, Hunter. This glaive mentioned above already made this quite solid, but we felt that Lightning Seeker presented a fun opportunity for our 3.0 interaction. Light Seeker now enjolts targets on impact. Reduce the damage of a direct hit of Lightning Seeker to account for the free ammo granted. Okay. All right. This is what I saw people talking about on Twitter. The Osteostriga changes. Osteostriga got a nerf. There's no reason to read all of this. It's basically just saying they're explaining why it got nerfed. Long story short, people are using it too much in the poison. That the ad clear that it gives is too easy to compare to how good it is at ad clearing. Okay, so they removed the SMG damage bonus scaler that was affecting the poison damage. This brings Osteostriga's poison down to match the standard necrotic grip poison, though as an exotic, it still does 40% bonus damage to minors. Okay, so people are still going to use this. I don't see why it's going to be like, this thing is trash, nobody's going to use it anymore, I'm going to go to Thorn. I doubt it. I could be wrong though, because Thorn could be kind of juiced after this catalyst, so we'll see. Salvation's Grip. Place a speed limiter on the detonation when damaging stasis crystals. This will prevent the detonation from being able to shatter too many crystals in a single frame, which would sometimes kick the player to orbit. Okay. Winter Bite. We did not want to leave this Winter Bite out of the glaive improvement pass, so we made it a little stronger, as well as a little bit less lethal to the user. Increase the detonation damage of the larger projectile by 25%. The self-damage blast radius has been halved, and the self-damage damage has been reduced. Okay. Danger Zone, we made a small change to how Danger Zone works on rocket launchers. You can figure out yourself when your season 23 drops. So there's gonna be a rocket launcher with Danger Zone on it. Okay. Heavy Grip. We discovered that the Heavy Grip perk was slightly increased incoming flinch. It was not intentional, so we removed it. Okay. Kinetic Tremors. This is a good perk. So Kinetic Tremors basically got a buff to the regular perk and a nerf to the enhanced perk. So it takes 11 shots on pulse rifles on the regular perk and 10 shots now with enhanced Kinetic Tremors. And for non-burst sidearms, it has gone from 12 to 8 and enhanced from 9 to 7. So if for some reason, y'all kept Buzzard with Kinetic Tremors, yay, but also not really, because I wouldn't be using this item for Kinetic Tremors, especially when freaking the Showrunner exists with SMG with Kinetic Tremors. So I wish they get that. For the future, bow tuning in PvP. Thank the heavens. Additional weapon tuning for checkmate aims at promoting a better diversity of weapons. Far future. Necrochasm will be getting a buff to extend the duration of the poison damage over time effect as it applies from the Cursed Thrall explosion. So, if you guys didn't know, killing somebody with a Cursed Thrall explosion with Necrochasm and does leave poison. It will also have a new catalyst called One for Thrall, which grants a moderate period of increased damage, range, and aim assist after you damage 3 enemies in quick succession. Damaging 3 or more enemies while this perk is active will refresh the timer. Okay, so we got buffs to Truth, Colony, DMT, as well as other exotic weapons, and Heavy GL will have a substantial inventory buff. Will this put us back into a GL meta? I doubt it, but we shall see. Anyway, that's about it. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. I need you to put a like and comment on the video if you're excited for this bow nerf, because golly, these things are getting annoying in PvP. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good one. Appreciate you. Remember, stay spooky. Love ya. Peace.